For as long as we can remember, the word intelligence has carried a quiet power. The moment someone is called intelligent, something shifts. They're listened to more closely. Their opinions carry weight. They're trusted, respected, sometimes even admired without question. And because of that, almost all of us at some point have wanted it, to be seen as intelligent, to be accepted as intelligent. But here's an interesting question. Have we ever paused to ask what intelligence actually is? Is it speed of thinking? Is it memory? Is it the ability to solve equations, write code, or speak eloquently? Today, the question becomes even more relevant because intelligence is no longer just human. We now build it, train it, purchase it, and access it on demand. Artificial intelligence can answer faster than us, remember more than us, and analyze deeper than us. So if intelligence can be acquired so easily, what is its real value? Does intelligence by itself solve real-world problems? Or does it only amplify the intent of the one using it? Because history has shown us something important. Intelligence without direction creates confusion. Intelligence without values creates harm. And intelligence without purpose creates noise, not wisdom. For a learner, then, intelligence is not the destination. It is a tool to understand reality more clearly, a tool to make better decisions under uncertainty, a tool to adapt, not just optimize, and most importantly, a tool to convert knowledge into meaningful action. In the journey of self-actualization, intelligence is valuable, not because it makes you superior, but because it expands your range of choices. It helps you ask better questions. It helps you recognize patterns others miss. It helps you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting instinctively. So the real question is not, how intelligent am I? The real question is, what am I becoming capable of doing with the intelligence I acquire? That is what we intend to explore in the next few talks. Not intelligence as a label, not intelligence as a status symbol, but intelligence as a responsibility, a capability, and a force for meaningful impact. Let's deep dive into it. When we strip away labels and prestige, intelligence at its core is quite simple. It is the ability to perform the right cognitive operations to solve real-world problems. At every moment, the world presents us with uncertainty, choices, and constraints. Intelligence is how we make sense of that complexity and then act effectively within it. Broadly, this intelligence expresses itself through two complementary thinking approaches. The first is discriminative intelligence. This is the intelligence of what it is. It helps us distinguish signal from noise, truth from assumption, relevant from irrelevant. It allows us to classify, compare, evaluate, judge, and decide. When we ask, is this correct? Does this work? Which option is better? We are exercising discriminative intelligence. It grounds us in reality and protects us from error. The second is generative intelligence. This is the intelligence of what it could be. It is the capacity to imagine alternatives, synthesize ideas, and create new possibilities. It enables us to design, invent, simulate outcomes, and explore futures that do not yet exist. When we ask, what if? How else could this be done? Or, what can we build from this? We are engaging generative intelligence. Real-world problem solving doesn't rely on one without the other. Discriminative intelligence tells us where we stand. Generative intelligence shows us where we could go. Together, they form the full arc of intelligence, from understanding reality to transforming it. Discriminative intelligence is the intelligence that brings clarity to complexity. When we face a concept, a situation, or a real-world problem, it rarely arrives in a neat, organized form. It comes tangled, with signals, noise, assumptions, risks, and possibilities all mixed together. Discriminative intelligence is the capacity to break that complexity down into manageable parts. First, it helps us decompose the whole, separating what we're looking at into distinct elements so we can actually think about them. Next, it allows us to evaluate which parts belong on the solution path and which ones don't, what deserves attention and what is simply a distraction. From there, discriminative intelligence helps us classify and investigate relationships, understanding which parts fit together, which conflict, and which cannot coexist. It pushes us to validate alignment. Are these components truly serving the objective, or are they introducing bias, assumptions, or hidden deviations? It also enables us to judge structure, how the parts are arranged, whether that arrangement makes sense, and how reorganizing them could lead to a better outcome. And finally, it asks a critical question: how advantageous is this solution really? Not just today, but under changing conditions, evolving constraints, and future uncertainty. Discriminative intelligence helps us stress test solutions, identify vulnerabilities, and protect against breakdown when scenarios change. In essence, it is the intelligence that helps us see reality as it is, reduce error, and make decisions that are grounded, defensible, and resilient. Before we can create something new, we must first understand what already exists. That is the power of discriminative intelligence. Generative intelligence is the intelligence that expands possibility. While discriminative intelligence helps us understand the parts, generative intelligence steps back to see the whole context in its entirety: the environment, the constraints, the intent, and the unseen connections. It asks not just what the problem is, but what the situation truly represents. It then challenges the familiar. Generative intelligence encourages us to look beyond the usual solution patterns, beyond how this has always been done, and explore what else could work. It opens space for alternate paths, new combinations, fresh perspectives, and unconventional approaches that may create far greater value. As ideas emerge, generative intelligence doesn't stop at imagination. It synthesizes possibilities, identifying which solution paths truly align with the objective and which ones introduce bias, misalignment, or unintended consequences. It allows us to simulate outcomes in multiple directions, to mentally test solutions, explore scenarios, and anticipate how different choices might play out under changing conditions. From there, it helps reconcile and organize these possibilities into a coherent, actionable direction. Finally, generative intelligence creatively reviews structure and advantage, how solutions are arranged, how effectively they serve the objective, and how resilient they are when the environment shifts. In essence, generative intelligence helps us move from understanding reality to reshaping it. It is not about guessing, it is about purposeful creation, guided by insight, imagination, and foresight. Where discriminative intelligence grounds us, generative intelligence propels us forward. So, when we talk about intelligence in action, it helps to see it through two complementary lenses. Discriminative intelligence focuses on what it is. It is about understanding reality with precision. This thinking approach asks us to distinguish, classify, compare, evaluate, and judge. It brings depth, thoroughness, and accuracy into problem solving. We break a problem into smaller parts, solve each piece carefully, and then integrate them back into a complete, well-reasoned solution. Discriminative intelligence ensures that what we build is correct, reliable, and grounded. Generative intelligence, on the other hand, focuses on what it could be. It moves beyond analysis into imagination. This approach relies on creative thinking, synthesis, and the simulation of possibilities. Instead of starting with decomposition, it starts with exploration, examining many possible solution paths, experimenting with permutations and combinations, and discovering unexpected connections. Generative intelligence brings novelty, differentiation, and innovation into the solutioning process. In simple terms, discriminative intelligence helps us go deep, while generative intelligence helps us go wide. One refines, analyzes, and validates. The other expands, explores, and discovers. Real-world problem-solving demands both. Discriminative intelligence tells us whether a solution works. Generative intelligence helps us imagine solutions worth working on. Together, they transform intelligence from mere thinking into meaningful impact. What we've really done so far is set a lens for how to think, not what to think. We've seen that effective problem-solving moves between grounding ourselves in reality and deliberately expanding possibility. Both are necessary, and neither works well in isolation. From here, the conversation becomes more practical. We'll move into specific thinking styles and structured frameworks that strengthen each of these modes of intelligence and, more importantly, learn how to switch between them intentionally depending on the problem at hand. That's the difference between thinking intuitively and thinking deliberately, and that's where our next discussions begin.